Google is starting to lose just a little bit of market share to ChatGPT. Now, I think that competition can yield better results for both companies. I think that competition is a good thing. But if your business has invested tens of thousands of dollars over the past several years in SEO and you're looking for a better way to track the results in ChatGPT, what do? I mean, there are some great SEO tools out there that show you exactly where you're ranking, your opportunities, your top 10 rankings, your top 50, whatever. But there's not a lot of tools out there that show you how you're performing in the AI tools like ChatGPT. Well, in this week's video, I'm going to share with you a tool that you can use to see how your brand is performing and see what types of questions your brand is actually coming up for in the ChatGPT results. My name's Scott Redgate. I'm an online marketing coach, and if you need a little help in your online marketing, maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you've been at this for a while and you just want better results, make sure to grab my free 7-day online marketing jumpstart doc. You can get it at scottredgate.com/jumpstart, and I'll leave a link in the description below. So let's hop into a screen share where I'll show you how you can actually get some information out of AI tools like ChatGPT. To be honest, it's been pretty challenging to see how often your brand is coming up in AI tools like ChatGPT. Unless you have a third-party tool that you're working with, you literally have to go into an AI tool. So right now I'm in ChatGPT and I'm going to type in top soda brands. And let's say you're Pepsi, for example, and you want to see how often you're showing up in searches like this. Well, you could go one by one with ChatGPT prompts like the one I just input and calculate it, and maybe you have some type of spreadsheet that you're documenting all these responses in. But that would be a ridiculous waste of time because there are third-party tools that are tracking this type of stuff. And no, it's not as good as some of the keyword rank tracking tools that we've had for the past 10 to 15 years, but there's still a lot of information that you can get and then use to your advantage. And so one of the SEO tools that I use is called SpyFu. Now, why do I use SpyFu? Well, it is a fraction of the cost of some of those tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs. You can get access to SpyFu for as little as $9 per month. Link in the description below if you don't have it already. Now, one of the new features that they've launched in SpyFu underneath the AI tools option is this SpyGPT. And so when you click on that, you can see that they say that they have asked ChatGPT 250 million questions. And so you can see where your brand is actually mentioned in the answers. And it's quite easy to do. So let's say you're Pepsi, for example, and you want to see how often your name is coming up in the ChatGPT responses. Well, you can simply type in Pepsi and then you can hit the search button. And they are giving you a list of questions and responses in their 250 million prompts that they've typed into ChatGPT where Pepsi is actually coming up. So let's look at this first question right here. Does Pepsi have caffeine? Yes, Pepsi contains caffeine. The amount of caffeine can vary by specific product, but a standard 12-ounce, 355 milliliters can of regular Pepsi typically contains about 38 milligrams of caffeine. So this is great. You can get a feel for how people are interacting with ChatGPT surrounding inquiries with your brand and also see the answers that the AI is coming up with. Now on this channel, we haven't done a lot of discussions on AI optimizations and how you can do a better job of coming up as the source for ChatGPT responses. But I'd say one of the easiest ways to use this information that you're getting from SpyGPT, first off, make sure the answers are accurate, but also look to fill in the gap. So for example, let's say people are actively typing in these types of prompts in ChatGPT. Don't you think it would make sense to have this type of information on your website? If ChatGPT does cite a source, wouldn't you want them to cite yours instead of some other website and that website potentially get the referral traffic from ChatGPT? So that's one of the easiest ways to be able to use this information. Type in your brand name and start to see the types of questions that people are asking in ChatGPT and then attempt to fill in the gaps and include this information on your website. Now, there are a lot of use cases for how you can use this information, but one thing that I like about SpyGPT is their advanced search operators. That's where I feel like you can get the most benefit from SpyGPT. So SpyFu and SpyGPT, they have a documentation guide for all these advanced search operators that you can use in SpyGPT to get the best results. I'll leave a link to this in the description below, but let's highlight a few of them. So you can include a plus sign in your SpyGPT search, and that means that it will use the plus operator to require answers to have this search clause. There's also an exclusion operator where you can include the minus sign to exclude a search clause. They have minus sign Nike, plus sign Reebok. So that would show you responses where Reebok is coming up, but Nike is not. So let's go into SpyGPT and do that for Pepsi. So I'll type in plus Pepsi and I'll say minus Coke and I'll hit OK. And so now this list of responses that it gave me should include Pepsi, but not include Coke. But what if you want to see ChatGPT responses that include Pepsi or Coke? Well, I can simply change this minus sign to a plus sign. And now this is going to come up with the questions and the responses where both brands are mentioned. So let's look at this one, for example. What is the difference between Coke and Pepsi? And it says Coke, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi are both popular carbonated soft drinks, but they have distinct differences in flavor, branding, ingredients, and marketing strategies. And you can cut right to the core. So let's look at this one right here. What is better, Coke or Pepsi? The preference between Coke and Pepsi often comes down to personal taste. Now, if you're Pepsi and you see this questions being asked in ChatGPT, and let's say ChatGPT was saying that Coke was the better of the brands, well, you have a long project on your hands to better understand why the AI came up with that answer. Are there a bunch of blogs out there on the internet that are ranking soda brands or including Coke at the top and Pepsi at the bottom? You can use that to prompt yourself to go into ChatGPT and explore the types of citations and sources that are used that the AI came up with that answer with. Now, let's check out a few more of these search operators in SpyGPT, and you can create extremely complex searches for SpyGPT. So in this one, they're talking about you can use an and or functionality. So in this example, it's saying find prompts and responses that include Lyft or lifts, but do not include Uber, Ubers, or Uber seats. You can also prompt SpyGPT's question field specifically. So it says, by default, searches will only run against the answer field. If you'd like to filter the question field, you can use the question : prefix. And you can also do that for the answer field as well. And there's a lot that you can do with this, but I will say, I think that these types of reporting tools are going to get so much better in the future. I think there's going to be a lot of data and insights and other useful features that we're going to be able to get from third-party tools like this. But in the meantime, for as little as $9 per month, SpyGPT is a solid option for you as you want to see how much coverage your brand is actually getting in AI tools like ChatGPT. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time.